Hey guys, welcome to the Bourboneering podcast. I'm your host, Austin. Let's get started. So today I want to talk a little bit about the next couple episodes of this show. And then also I'm introducing a new series today. So moving forward, I have 2 new series planned. That'll be this series right here, which is going to be a new version of study sessions. And I'm going to have a pairing series going on forward. I'm going to bring on guests, and we're going to talk about pairing whiskey with food, pairing whiskey with cigars, and pairing whiskey with other whiskey. In other words, how to build a flight. But today, the new series is going to be study sessions. Study sessions in the past have just been a quick whiskey review, and it's still going to have that as part of it. But I decided to dumb it down and bring it to the basics. Study sessions are going to be informative sessions. Still going to keep it under 10 minutes, keep it pretty short. But they're going to have a basic topic. I'm going to start from the very beginning of what is whiskey. Then I'll move on to special types of whiskey like bourbon, rye, scotch, all that. And then from there, we'll see what y'all want to hear, see what you want to learn a little bit more. I'm going to keep it simple, keep it quick. And with each episode, I'm also going to do a review of a whiskey that falls into that category. Obviously, today is a pretty broad category being whiskey, but today I'm going to be reviewing Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack, and we'll get more of that in a second. All right, without further ado, let's jump into our series today. The beginning of the series, this is going to be what is whiskey. Now, I'm going to read you the legal definition of whiskey. I got this from whiskeywash.com. Whiskey is defined as spirits distilled from fermented mash of grain at less than 95% alcohol by volume or 190 proof, having taste, aroma, and characteristics generally attributed to whiskey, and bottled at not less than 40% alcohol by volume or 80 proof. Now, what does that mean? So basically, whiskey is a distilled spirit that is at least 40% alcohol, which is 80 proof, and is distilled less than 190 proof, which is 95% alcohol. And it needs to be made from grain. That is 100% from grain. So that's corn, wheat, barley, rye. There's other types of grains out there, but that's the main ones. And it needs to fit within a proof range. Now, and whiskey is very, very vague. It includes bourbon, it includes rye, it includes scotch, it includes corn whiskey, it includes the cheap stuff at the store, it includes Canadian whiskey, it includes Pappy Van Winkle. It's a very, very broad category, but it does not include rum, it does not include anything with sugar distillate. It does not include tequila. It doesn't include brandy. That's all separate. Whiskey is what this show is about. Although I talk about beer and I talk about rum and different things like that. This show is about whiskey. Beer is fermented grain. Granted, they add hops, but it's fermented grain. Beer is made in the process of making whiskey. Now, it's not beer that we think of, because beer that we think of as a drink has hops in it. And although people have distilled whiskey from beer that has hops in it, it's generally just grain that's been fermented without any hops. A lot of distilleries will work with local breweries, and the breweries will make and ferment the mash bill that the distillery will then distill. Whiskey is very, very broad. Like I said, there's flavored whiskeys. You can add flavoring to a whiskey like cinnamon, make something like Fireball. Granted, it will be denoted as flavored whiskey, which is a whole different category, but it is whiskey. So that's about it. That's all I have for this one right here. We're going to get into more detail as the weeks go on. Next week, we're going to talk about bourbon. Then we're going to go into scotch, rye, all that. Let me know what you think about this episode. All right, so right now we're going to go into a review. Hey guys, Austin here with Bourboneering to talk about Prestige decanters. Prestige is where I get my whiskey tasting glasses for all my podcasts. I do all my reviews with these glasses. They're a beautiful tulip shape. They also have a lot of fun rocks glasses and things like that, as well as beautiful decanters like their name suggests. Use the link in the description below and use promo code Bourboneering, and you can get 8% off your order at Prestige. It helps the show out, it helps you out, and helps them out. So check them out when you get a chance, and thanks for listening. All right, guys. So today I'm drinking Gentleman Jack from Jack Daniels. It is distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It is it is a Tennessee whiskey, and that has its own connotations and meanings that I'll go into later. But for all intents and purposes, it is a whiskey. It is a double mellowed Tennessee whiskey, but it is a whiskey. Just real quick, Tennessee whiskey has everything that a bourbon has, except it has the Lincoln County process, which is just charcoal filtered in a very certain type of wood that I will go over in the Tennessee whiskey episode. Gentleman Jack has done this twice, I do believe, for a longer amount of time, which is why it's called double mellowed. But it's a real budget whiskey. It's, I'd say, in the $10 to $20 range. It's kind of a step up from Jack Daniels, at least in price point, but only just. So the color is pretty light. Going into the nose, very, very banana. It's the note, banana candy, the artificial banana, the note I get on young, not necessarily young, but bottom shelf whiskeys. It's very sweet, very candy sweet, cloyingly sweet. Maybe a little bit of vanilla and caramel in there, but it's mainly that banana note. If you ever had the candy runts, the banana flavored runts, that's what it smells like. Almost exactly like that to me. Moving on to the taste, that banana runts flavor really carries through. It has a little bit of a peanut butter note, which I enjoy. And it is smooth as it is marketed. And by smooth, I mean it's not really spiky with ethanol. It's nice. It's very, very plain. I'd put it on the light side of good. It's not offensive, but it's not something I'll be reaching for, that's for sure. There's absolutely no finish. Very, very short. But like I said, there's nothing really bad about this except for the banana runts, which I'm not a huge fan of. But it's not in your face. It's smooth enough, if you will, it'll do in a pinch. I'm going to give this a 2.6 out of 5 barrels. I wanted to give it just a little bit better than average, a little bit better than midway, because it doesn't have anything offensive about it, or very, very little that's offensive about it. But that's where I'm going to leave it. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you catch y'all next time on the next study sessions. And wait for my new series on pairings. Thanks for listening, y'all. Cheers. Thanks for listening, guys. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you subscribe on whichever player you're using. Leave a comment and leave a 5-star review if you can. Once you've done that, go follow me on Instagram at Bourboneering, or on Twitter at nbourbon, or go like our Facebook page, Bourboneering. All this, as well as my Prestige Decanter affiliate link, and a link to sign up for a weekly newsletter, are all below. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cheers.